The 1970s, a decade of shag carpets, lava lamps, and some of the most bewildering automotive engineering ever unleashed. While this era produced icons like the DeLorean and Corvette, it also created cars that made buyers wonder, what were they thinking? Today, we're diving into a collection of mechanical nightmares, design disasters, and engine catastrophes that defined worst in the 70s. Before we get started, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. These are the cars you'll want to see. And believe me, some of these engines fail so spectacularly you won't believe it. Let's roll into our countdown of the 10 worst engineered cars of the 1970s. Number 10. 1971 to 1976, Opel GT. Starting off at number 10, the Opel GT. Europe's answer to the American pony car craze, looked sleek and promising on paper, with swooping curves and pop-up headlights. But underneath that stylish body lurked a series of engineering nightmares. Its 1.9-liter inline-4 engine produced 102 horsepower, respectable for a compact European sports car, but the aluminum components warped in the summer heat, causing overheating that could ruin the engine block entirely. Early transmission systems were a ticking time bomb. The 4-speed manual often ground gears under aggressive driving, and owners learned to treat the gearbox like a fragile antique. Suspension components weren't much better. They sagged quickly, especially on rough roads, making cornering a nerve-wracking experience. Inside the cabin was tiny, giving drivers claustrophobic vibes. Poor door seals allowed water intrusion, which led to rust eating the floor pan from below. Owners often had to improvise fixes, including homemade drains to stop puddles from forming inside. Add in the scarcity of US parts, and the Opel GT turned from a fun little sports car into a constant mechanic's nightmare. A car that looked like a dream often delivered a week of repairs after every sunny weekend drive. Number 9. 1974 to 1979, Saab 99. At number 9, the Saab 99. Known for quirky Scandinavian engineering, the 99 was ambitious. Its 1.7-liter turbocharged inline-4 produced 108 horsepower, modest but sporty. Turbocharging was cutting edge for the era, but early models suffered from overheating and complex electrical gremlins. Dash lights flickered randomly, wipers would stop mid-storm, and heaters worked only intermittently. Microclimate control? Forget it. The cabin's massive greenhouse design was a double-edged sword. Exceptional visibility but brutal interior heat in the summer. Front-wheel drive geometry was ahead of its time, but it made emergency maneuvers tricky for unprepared drivers. Rust attacked rear wheel arches, sills, and even the underbody. Suspension sagged over time, creating a sloppy ride. While it had safety innovations like crumple zones, mechanical failures undermined the very protection these features promised. Driving a Saab 99 required skill, patience, and nerves of steel. And even then, surprises lurked behind every corner. Number 8. 1975 to 1980, Honda Civic CVCC. Number 8. The Honda Civic CVCC. Revolutionary for emissions compliance, but early US models were plagued with reliability issues. The 1.5-liter inline-4 produced a meager 52 horsepower, barely enough to merge onto highways. Overheating was common in the hot states, and carburetors required near-daily adjustments to stay drivable. Electrical systems failed at random, leaving drivers stranded. The braking system was weak and inconsistent, turning emergency stops into terrifying gambles. Interior plastics warped, rattles multiplied like bacteria, and many owners resorted to aftermarket modifications just to keep their Civics functional. Fuel efficiency was impressive on paper, but frequent visits to mechanics offset every penny saved at the pump. This was a car that worked in theory, rarely in practice. And the irony? Honda's engineering brilliance couldn't overcome the practical realities of 1970s American roads. Number 7. 1972 to 1977, Triumph Stag. Number 7. The Triumph Stag. British sports cars were always a gamble, but the Stag turned risk into an art form. Its 3.0-liter Vise 8 promised 145 horsepower, enticing, but plagued with catastrophic reliability problems. Head gaskets blew like fireworks, and overheating was the norm rather than the exception. Lucas Electronics, the infamous Prince of Darkness, guaranteed electrical failures at the worst possible times. Headlights flickering on a dark road, gauges freezing mid-drive, or the car refusing to start without warning. The Stag's suspension was soft, body panels rusted quickly, and owners frequently had to weld new mounts or replace floorboards just to keep the car roadworthy. Even weekend drives could turn into all-day projects, with water pumps seizing, hoses bursting, and leaks appearing from every seam. It looked gorgeous, but driving it required patience, tools, and a willingness to embrace chaos. A car that could be thrilling one day and a tow truck job the next. Number 6. 1973 to 1978, AMC Javelin, AMX. Number 6. The AMC Javelin, AMX. Muscle car enthusiasts might drool over V8s, but emissions regulations cut power nearly in half. Handling was unpredictable. Chassis flex made spirited cornering feel like a gamble. Brakes overheated quickly, causing near misses during aggressive driving. Interiors were cheaply built, rattling constantly, and rust attacked critical panels within a few years. Owners quickly learned that owning a Javelin AMX required a commitment to constant maintenance, checking bushings, swapping brake lines, and treating electrical issues as part of the daily routine. It looked aggressive, but the driving experience was more fight the car than enjoy the road. Its appeal was mostly in the image, a lesson in style over substance that left many enthusiasts frustrated and broke. Number 5. 1974 to 1979, Datsun 610. Halfway through number 5, the Datsun 610. Compact, sporty-looking, but painfully underpowered for U.S. highways. Engines produced 85 to 100 horsepower, and acceleration was sluggish. Suspension geometry caused unpredictable handling, while soft brakes demanded careful driving. Electrical problems were common: failed headlights, flickering gauges, and starter motors that died without warning. Rust invaded wheel arches, floor panels, and structural components, and interior plastics warped under heat, leaving a cheap, worn feel. Datsun marketed it as reliable, but reality proved otherwise. Consistent mechanical work was necessary to prevent disaster. A Datsun 610 could be fun if it ran, but the odds were stacked against you, turning what should have been a simple daily driver into a full-time project. Number 4. 1971 to 1975, Renault 12. Number 4. The Renault 12. Designed as a practical family car, but reliability was poor. Engines ranged from 1.3 to 1.4 liters, producing 55 to 60 horsepower, not enough for highways. Cooling systems were weak, brakes inadequate, and suspension components wore rapidly. Rust attacked sills, floor pans, and even frame mounts, making structural issues a real concern. Styling was quirky and attention-grabbing, but mechanical issues were constant. Rattles, leaks, and interior decay made for a frustrating ownership experience. Even simple repairs could become multi-hour ordeals. Renault aimed for affordability and innovation, but drivers often found themselves investing more in repairs than the car's original cost. A supposedly reliable family car that demanded constant vigilance. Number 3. 1973 to 1978, Lancia Beta. At number 3, the Lancia Beta. Italian styling met mechanical chaos. Engines from 1.6 to 2.0 liters were prone to oil leaks, carburetor failures, and overheating. Electrical systems were unpredictable, leaving drivers stranded without warning. Brakes were soft, steering vague, and rust attacked aggressively at chassis mounts and suspension points. Despite its sophisticated look, the Beta was a nightmare to maintain. Owners needed tools, spare parts, and patience, sometimes all three for a single weekend drive. Yet the styling kept it desirable, creating a cruel irony, a car that looked gorgeous while simultaneously draining wallets and testing nerves. Every drive was a gamble between mechanical failure and aesthetic pleasure. Number 2, 1972 to 1976, Ford Elite. Number 2, the Ford Elite. Marketed as a personal luxury coupe with 302 to 351 V8s. Engines were hampered by emissions restrictions, losing half their potential power. Heavy handling, soft brakes, and rattling interiors made driving stressful. Suspension bushings wore quickly, rust spread under carpets, and electrical failures were frequent. Stylish, yes. Reliable? Absolutely not. Owners needed constant upkeep to keep these cars functional. The Elite's charm was in its looks, but mechanics were a nightmare. It perfectly captured the 1970s luxury car compromise. Flashy aesthetics, fragile mechanicals, and a lifetime of unexpected repair bills. Number 1, 1973 to 1977, Chrysler Cordoba. Finally, number 1, the Chrysler Cordoba. A personal luxury coupe with 318 to 360 V8s, heavy body, poor weight distribution, and a host of mechanical flaws. Engines were strangled by emissions equipment, brakes were soft, electrical gremlins plagued every system, and rust attacked body seams and wheel wells. Panel gaps varied wildly, reflecting Chrysler's financial corner-cutting. Driving a Cordoba meant embracing constant maintenance. Suspension, engine, brakes, and interior repairs became part of life. It perfectly captured the essence of 1970s personal luxury cars. Prioritize looks over engineering and hope the buyers forgive the endless headaches. A car that looked great on the driveway, but every trip on the road was a potential disaster.